to restrict it to just retreat and rest, because after retreating and resting and then coming back, there's another phase of burning out. Would you still keep going to retreat and rest, and then nothing is actually working? It's like you're coming back the same way you were before. All right, so that's why recharge is very important.
Oh, last time it's fake.
Hello, people. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Oto-Obong. If you are new here, I create faith and lifestyle content, and if that's something that you're interested in, do also click on the subscribe button, turn on notifications. So in last week's video, we talked about what to do in situations where you find yourself drained, worked up, burnt out, emotionally exhausted. So if you have not watched last week's video, I advise you to take these 3 steps. Step 1, pause this video. Step 2, click on the link here. And step 3, watch that video to the end. Then it will lead you back to this video, because I don't think you have so much understanding if you've not watched that video first of all, because this is going to be a continuation of last week's video. Done? Done. Let's move. So, retreat, check. Rest, check. Now, recharge. Now, if you remember in last week's video, we looked through a Bible verse, John chapter 4, verse 1 to the end, and that's like what we're going to continue from. So, last week we stopped at verse 6. This week we're going to start from verse 7. Soon, a Samaritan woman came to draw water, and Jesus said to her, "Please give me a drink." If we keep reading on, you find out that Jesus actually had a drink to offer the woman that was even much more than the drink he requested for. But going down, he did not actually drink the drink. But there was something he said in verse 34, which I believe explains my point very well. Verse 34, Jesus explained, "My nourishment comes from doing the will of God who sent me and from finishing his work." In Message translation, it says, "The food that keeps me going is that I do the will of the one who sent me, finishing the work he started." What is the food that keeps you going? When you're burnt out, you're drained, you're exhausted, where do you go to get strength back? What do you do to recharge? Is it your favorite music, your favorite movie, motivational speeches? I'm actually calling all the things that I used to go back to when I feel like down and restless. But you see, the thing about those things is that they don't fill you up completely. For instance, I'm going to use that motivational speech because that's something that I love to listen to most of the times. Okay, so at this moment, you feel like you cannot move ahead in life, and then you're like, okay, fine, let me go to this motivational speech, and then you start hearing, "You can do this, you can make it," that they don't believe in you doesn't mean you can't move ahead. And you'll be like, yes, this is it, I'm feeling the vibe. In the next, like, how many hours? You've just you just lost all the things that you've heard. Like, you just go back to feeling the same way. These things, they cannot hold you up for long. Now I want to give this illustration. I remember one time where I gave my dad my phone to charge for me, and then by the time I came back, it was like after like 3 hours later or so, I came back to check my phone, and then it was like around 50 something percent. 3 hours. I was almost like, what? Like, nah, my phone doesn't charge this slow. What happened? Until I discovered that the cord that they used for my phone was not the cord. Like, how many of us have those kind of phones that some cords cannot charge them? There's a particular cord that charges that phone. So in using another cord for my phone, it made the process of filling it up very, very slow, and the battery did not even last compared to if I used my own cord to charge it. Now, what am I trying to bring out? Is it your fault that that happened? No, right? Whose responsibility is it? The creator of the phone and the charger. The people that created the phone knew that this was a particular charger that can charge the phone. So when they were selling the phone off to you in the full package, they gave you the phone along with the charger that can best suit it. Now I've come to realize that every human being was created with a void in them that only him can fill. I remember one point we used to read back in high school because I studied literature, so then we were reading poems and all. I think it was Dipuli by George Herbert. I want to read in verse 3. He said, "For if I should, said he, bestow this jewel also on my creature, he would adore my gifts instead of me, and rest in nature, not the God of nature. So both should losers be." That's why I said in the last stanza, "Yet let him keep the rest, but keep them with repining restlessness. Let him be rich and weary, but at least if goodness lead him not, yet weariness may toss into my breast." So God created us with a void. God created us without giving us rest because it feels like if He gave us every of the things, like what will bring you back to God? What will bring you back to God? Just normal. When you win a contract or something good happens to you, you tend to like forget like there is God. You tend to forget your relationship with God because you're so caught up in so many things. Now, when you are restless, when you don't have peace inside of you, when you're not satisfied at that particular point, that's where you tend to realize, oh right, there's a God somewhere. Why is it that some people who get into a relationship newly and everything is working out fine, everything is working out fine, they don't even remember anybody because the love is, the butterfly is catching them very well. But after one small thing happen, that's when you start remembering your friends and your family. Like, this thing happened, or how will I come out of it? In fact, that's when you start remembering God because it's going to be as if your friends and family don't even understand you as much as, and then it's only God that might understand you. That's where you go to refuel yourself to get peace and all. Why does that happen? Because God deprived us of something. So the whole idea of the pulley is that God created us. He gave us all the things that we might possibly need to live a successful life, but He did not give us rest. And the major reason he didn't was so that we can be pulled back to him in situations where we need to refill, we need to recharge. So, like when we try to fill up that void that is inside of us with things that are not even up to God, it never gets filled. I remember watching one video, I can't really quote. The man was giving an illustration of shapes, all right? So there are shapes with different holes. So it's just like a game. You have to pick a shape to fit in a particular hole, just like a puzzle kind of game, right? And okay, so if you're seeing a circle hole, what shape would you put in that circle hole? Is it not a circle? Right? So if you decide to take a star shape and put in that circle hole, will it get filled? In fact, it's not even enter self. Or maybe the circle hole is big and you take the small star shape to put it there. It's not going to get filled. It's going to fall down. So there's this shape inside of our hearts. There's this shape inside of us that is God shaped. There is nothing else that can fill it. Only God. So when you tend to put other things inside, it's just like you're pouring water into a basket or into a bottle with so many holes. Everything tends to pour out. You never get filled. And that's when you start saying, like repeatedly, I'm always tired, I'm always tired, I'm always tired, because you're not using the right thing to fill yourself up. So after one phase of burning out, then another phase of burning out, then another phase of burning. I did not want to restrict it to just retreat and rest because after retreating and resting and then coming back, there's another phase of burning out. Would you still keep going to retreat and rest, and then nothing is actually working? It's like you're coming back the same way you were before. All right, so that's why recharge is very important. Isaiah 40 verse 11 proves it by saying, "Those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength." All right. And then there's this passage of the Bible that says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." So to those sources that you have, those places that you go to when you feel down, when you feel burnt out, when you feel drained, you need to ask yourself these questions. What guarantee do your sources have? Have they promised to renew your strength? Have they promised to make you mount up on eagle's wings? Have they promised to make you run even when you walk? Have they promised to make you fly when you run? Have they promised you that they would give you rest when you come onto them? See, there's only one source that is guaranteed to give you the peace that you're looking for. There's only one source that is guaranteed to give you the strength to forge ahead, regardless of all of the setbacks. See, there's only one source that is guaranteed to give you that energy to spring up from the hospital's bed, or whatever situation that you find yourself in. And that source is God, whether you like it or not. So to the drained, to the burnt out, to the emotionally exhausted, and to those who probably find themselves in situations like this is my message for you today. And I pray that God gives us the grace to not only retreat and rest, but to also recharge, but from the right source, which is Him. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let me know your favorite part of this video or part blessed you. And if you have any video requests, is there any other topic you would like me to talk about? Don't forget to put that in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.